So there's no telling how much coffee is in that.
No, too much.
I mean, but it's caramel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tasty. It's tasty, deadly amount.
Is that your first Starbucks Frappuccino?
Probably.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not that fancy. I brew my own.
Brew your own? It's in a bottle. You brewed your own. I don't think it counts if you buy it out of the store ice box or what it's called.
Don't discredit my skill.
You're going to be all hyper tonight. I know it.
Oh, yeah.
You're just going to be
I'm
all
be
over the place. Let's see. And we're talking. You guess what we're talking about this week?
Some stupid nerdy magazine.
Oh my gosh! You're just going to be. You're just like completely and utterly vicious.
Yes.
I mean, you really are. Why do you even do comics? Do you even like comics?
I like getting paid for it.
Oh my gosh! Why don't you get a Netflix deal too? Jeez! Wow! Yeah, but
that's the harshest insult you can throw.
That's right. Well, we're talking about the 90s this week.
My favorite.
Yeah. So, okay, when I was coming up, here's the thing. When I was coming up, let me ask you. The 70s and the 60s felt like they were ancient to me, right?
Okay, yeah.
All right. So, what does the 90s feel like to you?
Super old.
Huh?
Super old.
Super
Well,
old.
The thing is, my generation kind of exploited the 90s for all it was worth. Like, we've got a bunch of shows based in the late 80s and 90s. And fashion.
Again, would be called retro, right?
Oh, yeah, actually. I guess it is pretty old. The craziest thing, though, I saw a TikTok today of a girl who went into Spirit Halloween, and they had costumes of Y2K. That's old. And I was like, whoa. Whoa, guys.
Costumes of Y2K.
Yeah, right?
My gosh, did they sell disco shoes with that too? But see, you had to be there for that whole thing because at that point in time, the world was just going to shut down. And okay, so we had the 2012 scare. Now you were around for that, but you don't remember it. You were too young. Well, but in 2000, there was just the idea that was it. It was over with, and because the computers were going to hold us hostage it was just going to end. The world was just going to end because computers didn't know how to roll over the dates.
Oh my god!
Right?
That's probably the funniest way the world could end. Actually,
what do you mean the computers are shut down? It doesn't understand 2000s, and I don't think the computers ever have started to understand the 2000s. At all. Whatsoever. So anyway, we're waiting for notifications to go out. And we're going to start this party. Now, I call it the magic of comics.
It's really lame.
You stunt my creativity.
Well, I'm sorry. I'll start being more supportive, okay?
I doubt it. But
I'm really good at lying.
Anyway, but in the early 90s, you had this explosion of comics. Or you had this explosion of
back when comics were relevant. Okay, that was.
Oh my gosh! You want another job, right?
Oh, right. Sorry, I said I was going to be more supportive.
Damn, you are your mother's daughter.
Keep going.
So let me ask you this question: being your mother's daughter, so how was that show last night? Hot. Spicy. Oh my gosh! Look, scary. You and your mother both were dealing with stomach problems today from doing that. Now, was it worth it? Was it at least people got to see your Gur hat?
Yes,
unfortunately.
Finally. I mentioned the second episode of the show. I bought it, or was it the first? I bought it for the show, and then I forgot we had a green screen, and I was so embarrassed I could never show my face again. So
you could. It's just going to be that part of your face. The rest of it.
Like half my head's gone.
And a Gur smile at the front of it.
But I finally got to show it off. It was fun.
Oh boy, sounds like fun. All right.
At the sacrifice of my taste.
So I think the notifications are going out. Let's start the show. Let's get into this. Ready?
No.
Neither am I.
The views and opinions expressed within the video content found on the Indie Comics Network are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Indie Comics Network or its sponsors.
Expelled, that's simple.
I told you, I don't know nothing about no secret paintball games. This is from Huffing Paint, I swear.
Escort Alex Osborne off campus.
Oh, hey, hold your horse panties. You didn't tell me you knew my name. Kai was invisible. A ghost. Uses silver paint.
A ghost.
Call him Silver Ghost, but that's probably already taken by an indie comic book or a terrible tequila.
Like the duck. Golly, she doesn't see, you guys don't get to see it behind the scenes, but
because he's dancing like a dork.
Dancing like a dork. Look, I get to wear my Marvel hat today. Woo! I went on JD Calderon's show. He told me I couldn't wear it to show Marvel one time, and it's like, oh my gosh, just because we're explaining indie comics doesn't mean all other ones don't exist. JD, jeez, man, what the deal? So anyway, hey, let's talk to the chat real quick because they're in there. Euphrane's in there. Say, Euphraine, hello, Euphraine. Our buddy Mike Duplantis is in there. Yay, it's happening. It is happening. Yes. Nick's in there. Nick, hey, Nick, the joys of Y2K. Oh, my
the terror.
Gosh. I'm telling you, man, it was, I remember that.
Happy I wasn't there.
I was working in a comic book store / porn store / anime store / comic book store at the time. It was the same year I met your mother, actually. Yeah. The end of the apocalypse has
oh wow.
The apocalypse brought us all closer together.
Oh
yes. Calls Eros TV is in the house. Hi from Peru.
Oh, hello.
Say hey. And Nick says Wizard Magazine was absolutely the greatest thing in the 90s. Absolutely. I'm telling you, because here's the thing. Like I consistently say, hold on, let me hit this too. Hey Mike, I'm good. See, he asked how I'm doing today. He didn't ask about you. You know, whatever. You know what? Here's the deal, Mike. I got a lot of to me because I picked this up at the LCS today. Deadly Class Compendium.
It is.
Look
huge.
At this thing.
That is a
Look at this thing. I've read almost over half of this
Chunky
thing.
Boy.
That's right. And that was actually a good steal for $60.
$60.
$60.
It's still a pretty big book. I think
you could probably get it cheaper on Amazon, but I mean, you're supporting the local comic book store, right? Isn't that what we're supposed to be doing? Anyway. So as always, today.
How have you been? You look good. I'm feeling neurotic. I've been feeling a little neurotic lately.
I'm feeling a little neurotic.
A little neurotic.
Just say.
So the usual then.
And if you don't know me, I am C. Michael Lanning, independent artist. Done work for Hasbro Production, Arrow Comics, and other things. Hopefully some new stuff coming out soon. Take a look out for that. Bonbot, working on a captain that I can't really talk about. And and something else. And then I've got this one right here that's just newly.
Hi, what's up? I'm here, I'm out of the egg, and I am doing my thing.
What's your name?
How would I know? I just hatched. I don't know anything.
Go ahead, just hatch. Tell them who you are.
Oh, shoot, that's me. I'm Jaden Lanning. I do freelance comic covers for the most part. I've been working on some stuff with Daphne Lage and Rob Multuri. Things like that. You can find me on Facebook. I don't got much going on, but you can hire me, if you wanted to. I love comic books. I love them.
Oh, yeah.
Especially Golden
Now
Age.
you're trying to save your butt. Mike says, wow, that compendium is a chunky boy. That's right. 56 issues in one. I'm kind of surprised they stuck it in one book. Yeah.
Big boy.
I saw somebody the other day. Now, the Wheel of Time series is like 12 books. We're not talking issues. We're not talking comics, folks. We are talking books. And these are not like thin books. These are like Lord of the Rings size books, some of them. Nice. Took all 12 of them, made binding and everything, put them all together in one book.
That would take up like a whole shelf.
Yeah.
What the
I think
hell?
that's more than one shelf.
Why would they do that? What's the point?
Nick says, kind of tragic how many FLCSs just became just LCSs. What really gets me is I think it should be LCBS, but that's really hard to say, and people might take the BS part a little bit too seriously.
That's where my mind went.
What? Efren says, Omnibus Comics. Absolutely. I do like having all the collections because even that, As you can see, I've also had Middle West on here before, and I've got a couple of them. I've got like 3 out of the Walking Dead, but I need to collect number 3. I found number 4 for $10 at Barnes & Noble, and you don't pass that up even if you don't have number 3. And I like Walking Dead all right. It was okay.
I haven't read it.
But
it's all black and white. I usually don't read that.
But but here's the thing. Do you know who published Walking Dead?
No, I'm actually not too sure. I probably should know.
It was Image Comics.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Which brings us to today. Are we talking about Image Comics? Well, not quite. But
what a segue.
What a segue. Look at this. So, in the early 90s, founded in 1991, 92. That says 91. So, we're going to go with 91. It was founded in 1991. Wizard Comics was a hub for comic book goodness, right? So you had your interviews with artists, you had your top upcoming artists, you had what books were coming out, what was their summary for, what books you need to read the books that are coming out.
I was pretty mesmerized when you told me the concept. I'm like, what happened to this?
Well, now here's the thing about Wizard. Wizard is not the first comic book magazine. Okay, it's not. But it was, I guess, it was one of those ones that you could really get off of the newsstand anywhere. I could go into a grocery store and find Wizard comic or Wizard magazine on the stand or on the shelf at
Walmart or anywhere.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So it was one of those things, right?
I don't see these anywhere anymore.
Well, no, and what we're doing is we're pulling these up. You can also come, if you want to, you can come along with us. Make sure, before we continue, guys, like, subscribe, tell a friend, send an email, let other people know. And if you want to talk about Wizard Comics, go ahead and comment. We always love to hear your comments, and we always love to interact with you. Why?
It's interactive? You son of a bitch.
That's right. So anyway, so don't leave us hanging. You're part of the group.
We're all a big family here.
Nerdy family. Don't do that. My work does that, and I don't like that either. So anyway, I figured I have a couple of choice ones that we're going to go through, but I thought we flipped through some of these magazines, kind of like how you used to do it when you actually got these things, right? And like I said, what happened was back here when I grew up in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, which is like, a pit, this, and you had comic book shops periodically. They didn't really pop up very often. A lot of the stuff came from stores at the time. You had spinner racks, drugstores and things like that. Then you had comic book stores. They only lasted, or there was a little like kiosk or whatever in a bookstore. So you didn't really have it that often, right? But here's the thing. You did have Wizard, and like I said, you could go into a grocery store or whatever, and you could find Wizard magazine. And that was kind of, for me, how I was able to kind of keep up to date with what was going on in comics. And mostly just steal from the art. Oh, anyway.
Now we have social media.
So here's Spider-Man on the cover of Wizard magazine, brand new freaking magazine, all about comics. Here's the deal. You know who drew this Spider-Man?
No, who did it?
The name's right there.
Well, the screen's pretty far away from me.
Okay. It's Todd
Collector's
McFarlane.
Edition. Oh, wait, okay.
No, Collector's Edition didn't do this. I need to teach you how to read a book. Anyway, and so you got the first comic book with Todd McFarlane, who was at this point in time one of the hottest rising comic book artists at the time. You've heard of Todd McFarlane?
I believe I have, yes.
Oh, okay.
One time.
Just one time. Just one time.
Once.
Right. So here's the deal. Let's open this up. Now, congratulations, the Wizard. Congrats, Comics Unlimited Ltd. Congratulates the Wizard on the launch of their new publication. We hope it has a long and successful run. This thing's not getting started off the ground. This is not necessarily grassroots, guys. So don't why is that? And we're going to get into it. And here we go. We have right here on the left-hand side over here, we have the man himself, Garib. Damn it, dude! Why could
my face?
Sharub, I cannot remember his name right now. Oh my gosh, driving me nuts.
Chip.
Yeah, it's like, well, how am I supposed to read that, right? So anyway, let's do this real quick. I would like to congratulate you on your purchase of Nick says, see, your spawn knows about Todd McFarlane. Oh,
Yeah.
nice. I see what you did there.
Punny.
Oh, wow.
Very punny.
And Danny Cover said, Garib Shameless. Yes. Absolutely. Garib Shameless. Absolutely. Thank you, Mike. Seamus. Yes, I should have known that. So anyway, I would like to congratulate you on your purchase of Wizard, the Guide to Comics #1, Collector's Edition. Boy, so thank you, Spectator Market is coming up. I believe that in your journeys throughout the comic book world, information is hard to assemble. Ooh. You must use one source for new comics, one for your values, one for your interviews, and so on. Now, all under one cover, you can get it all. Original artwork by your favorite artists, interview with today's top personalities, previews of new unreleased books, plus much, much more. And he was not this energetic. I want to thank everyone who made Wizard possible. I'm proud of that we all make such a great team. Now, here's what's interesting about this. If you go to Image Wiki, they talk about Wizard. And if you think Wizard didn't have a lot to do with Image, guess what? You're wrong.
You wrong.
You wrong. Because guess one of the things that got this started is guess who Garib Shameless was friends with? Well, we just saw his cover art.
Oh, Todd McFarlane.
Todd McFarlane.
Okay.
So you kind of start to see when you start piecing the 90s together, folks, it's you find that it's not as happenstance as you might have thought it
connected.
Was. But you know what? That doesn't take away from the fact that this was going on. Now, here at this point in time, Wizard is being printed on paper, whatever the case is. Later on, it becomes gloss. I mean, so the book is selling like hotcakes, right? Mike says, AKA Garib Shameless, and JD Calderon got it right. And JD's in there, LOL, right? So even though we can kind of get the idea of what they're looking at, this is the first one. We have a price guide that's in there, grading your comics, grading me simple, a way to recognize quality, right? So
away all the secrets.
Absolutely. Digital color, comic books, and computers, do they mix well? We'll show you their true colors. Oh my gosh. This is like on the nose. This is spot on journalism for comics right here, right? So just asking editors, what are they? What do they do?
What are they?
Now, what?
I've never met one.
Wow.
Do we even need them?
Another, let's see. Today is Todd McFarlane notes. Wow, it's funny that he mentions Todd McFarlane. Today is Todd McFarlane notes in his interview in this issue. It's not unusual for a comics creator to hand in the finished product, in Todd's case, the entire book, words and pictures. Oh my gosh, because Todd's so great. Without the editor ever having seen it before. In that case, the editor is little more than a traffic cop.
Oh.
Ooh.
All right.
I don't know if I like this.
Throwing shade?
In that case, yeah, the editor is little more than a traffic cop between the creator and the production department. I guess I get that, right? I mean, but I do think that the editor, contributes a little bit more to that.
Better.
Right? It's well, you should some of the way that they treated their fellow creators at this point in time. What Liefeld did with Louise Simonson on New Mutants. She would write New Mutants, and he'd come back and completely do something different.
Oh, that's not
no, that was just shitty. But another comics pro and inker told me, hey, why can't we name this comic pro inker?
Yeah,
what's the deal, O'Neill? Come on, man. We got but we can name them whatever.
Everyone knows
you want to name the Todd Father, whatever the case is.
Father.
That's what they call him. Another comics pro and inker told me that he wouldn't know if he had a particular assignment until he had done a test page and the title's regular penciler okayed his work, despite the fact that the book's editor already thought the inker was the best man for the job. What's wrong with this picture? Could it be that the biggest problem with comics today is that nobody's telling the writers and artists when they are being self-indulgent or obscure or just plain bad? Just asking, you understand? Gee whiz, man. So you get into questions and answers. This news ghostwriter is the same as the one who had his own series back in the mid-70s. Marvel has, and so, so we were getting, this is basically your Comic-Con on page. Oh, what do you know? Now, here's what's interesting about this, because I would suggest going to check it out. It's an internet archive,
Internet.
archive.org, or whatever the case is. And these books are up there that you can take and look and read and everything openly. And I suggest going back and looking at some of these artists and stuff, because there is still a lot to learn from even people who have done some things.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I think what was interesting was what's interesting like this, it was just a job, or like, what is it? Was Spider-Man a character you've been eager to do, or was it just a job that came along? It was just a job. I started collecting comics late and probably broke in a lot later than many of the younger guys these days. I just considered myself a professional, and whatever assignment I got, I tried to do my darndest.
Aw.
So
It's a very 90s picture right there with that hair.
that's right. He is just having fun with that. Look at that. Is that a Sharpie? Oh, okay. He must be signing it.
Oh.
He's got to be signing it, right? So anyway. But I do find that now going through this, I thought was interesting. Here's Wizard asked him, who was doing the interview on this? Let me see. It was Pat O'Neill.
Whoa.
Wow. Okay, that explains that. Now, please, if y'all get me wrong, I'm not throwing shade on anybody here whatsoever.
They're throwing shade.
Well, my editors, right?
I know, dude.
Golly, man, jeez.
Cut me some slack.
Anyway. So the Wizard asked him, and I thought this was kind of interesting for people who were struggling with this. And this kind of reminds me, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, and what was going on when you bring your portfolio up to a con, whatever. Looking at your current work, I get the feeling that a lot of the drawing is being done at the inking stage. Am I right? It's always been like that, says McFarlane. I don't worry about backgrounds, debris, explosions until I go with the brush. I rough out the characters, that's all. My attitude is there's no such thing as wrong debris, no such thing as wrong spaceships, no such thing as wrong monsters, because they're nothing in real life to base them on. Some guys do better than others. That wasn't what I was looking at. Here we go. If a guy's getting smashed into a brick wall, who cares where the bricks are, as long as there's a shitload of bricks, right? Now, I don't do a lot of real backgrounds. I do a lot of line work and doodle the hell out of the pages, and the printing process muddles it up some. I treat the pages like they're not going to be colored, but as long as I get Spider-Man in the right pose and I've got a cool shot of him coming at you in the splash page, it's not that important what's behind him. If I can fill up the space with stuff that kind of sort of looks right, or at least fill it with line work, the kids figure there's more detail put in that than there really is. And Katie says, I sense nothing but shade. That's why you got to take them sunglasses off.
That's a pretty good advice, I think. I mean, he kind of makes it sound like the background doesn't matter, but I don't think that's what he's saying.
No, not quite.
It's about the illusion of a background and its details.
I mean, because even if you look at this image over here, right? Mm-hmm. You can still make out some stuff.
It's a pile of junk. You're not going to be staring at it more than you're staring at Spider-Man.
I mean, unless you're an artist.
That's true. That's true. You're going to notice more.
And then when somebody says, oh, backgrounds aren't that important, you'd be like, oh, thank God.
Every time. I'll just take that as an excuse.
Yeah, right.
Like if a professional says it, well. But I mean, like he said, the kids aren't going to be paying attention. And
I think this is kind of cool. Short history and Spider-Man's, Spider-Man's illustrated evolution. You had Steve Ditko who did what?
That's a name. I created Spider-Man.
There you go.
I knew that.
With who?
Stanley? Stanley? I'm scared of getting it wrong. I'm in a crowd of nerds right now. So
John Romita Sr. and Todd McFarlane in 1990.
He got more flexible over time.
He did. He was really flinging them legs now.
Ooh.
So in there you had your Wizard Comic Watch, so you were starting to see, what was going on as far as what was coming up in comics, what was important. Now, digital coloring at this point in time was just starting to get its foothold. Malibu Comics, I think, was pretty heavy into this. In fact, Image went to them. Now, this is before Image.
Okay.
Now, this is Wizard Magazine #1. Within the year of this magazine being produced, Image would be founded in 1992.
Ooh.
So by number 12, we have another interview with Todd McFarlane, but this time it's about Image Comics.
Oh, okay.
So
digital coloring, that's pretty interesting. I didn't realize it had its footing so early, at least in comics.
What do you mean it's so early? It was 1991.
That's pretty early, okay? For me.
What do you? What do you think
Of
it
course
was?
it's
We had computers.
Well, I know that. Didn't know you
How
could
do you
color
think
on the
we
back.
could?
I thought everything was still in black and white. I didn't know.
Well, there was the indie boom right before it with the Ninja Turtles, and that was in black and white, and everybody went to black and white.
So was The Walking Dead. So.
But it was The Walking Dead wasn't black and white because they didn't have digital coloring.
Teach their own, we all have our theories.
There's no theory there. It wasn't why.
I'm too lazy to check the Wikipedia page.
Oh my gosh. So then we have a guide for grading your comics. Well, this is interesting. In today's comic book market, grade is one of the most important factors that influences the value of a comic book.
Huh.
There are many grades that fall, maybe not anymore, considering what's just happened. Now that might be some shade there. Or maybe I'm just being...
I am mysterious.
But anyway, there are many grades that fall between the ones listed below. However, the grades presented here are the ones of the most noticeable signs of changes in condition. Grading comics vary from person to person, depending on how much they regard certain flaws or imperfections. This guide will serve to help you in the process of grading your comics. So screw all that paying hundreds of dollars to go and have your comics graded and slabbed. We'll give you the means to do it right here. You saw they showed by. So okay, let's just take a little bit out of this. So mint, by definition, a mint comic book should appear as if it just came off the press. Flawless. There should be no signs of wear inside or outside of the issue. The cover should be centered. Spine should be very tight, no creases, and all corners should be sharp. The pages inside should not show any signs of aging. A mint comic book could be worth up to 200% of the near mint value. And this all depends on the scarcity and desirability of the specific comic in high grade. See, when comics were coming out, they were disposable media.
Oh.
So they were printed. Some of these comics that started, and Randy will tell you, comics started as they were kind of running the print. They didn't want the printer press to run down, right?
Okay.
So they were printing this out to keep it going because it's a pain in the ass to get back started. And that's just the short end of it. And I'm sure somebody's probably slapping their heads going, no, that's not the one. What are you talking about? But it's about the right things. So what you had was people weren't collecting comics like they do now. It wasn't like coming out and I'm going to go collect.
They didn't realize the gold they had.
Exactly. But people
probably
were
using
starting
it
it.
Toilet paper.
But people saw the value in it. Stuck it in something, and that's what made that collectible. Now, when you print out 100 copies of a glossy page, thick spined book, and people come running to it, it's going to last longer, so it's not going to be as collectible. So that was let's look at what it says for a poor comic book in this condition has many defects. Some flaws include ripped pages, a bent spine, a small chunk missing, large creases, and very discolored or faded pages. Any comic with unnatural defects are usually considered poor. Examples include water damage, rusty staples, tape marks, cutouts, coupons. Shit. How else are you going to get the X-ray glasses? Missing complete pages, writing marks, or stains. A poor comic is worth less than 10% of the near mint value.
I feel like a poor comic sometimes.
Oh, look, and this is beautiful right here. Look, ooh. It's a McFarlane card set, long sleeve X. Look, this is Amazon, man. This is your Amazon for current comics back then, right? So, and then of course you get a poster.
Oh,
you would have to get a poster.
I'm gonna cut
you have to get a poster. My man Ghost Rider was on number 2. Horror comics then and now. So, I mean, they were getting into some stuff that was,
It's pretty expansive. They've covered a lot so far.
Oh, absolutely. These are not comforting stories for children. And it's like, well.
Mostly kids are reading them.
That's exactly. Mostly kids are reading them. So.
They're not comforted, but they do enjoy it.
So here you got Picks from the Wizard's Hat, which I know this is surprising everyone. I think it was X-Men #1 by Chris Claremont and Jim Lee. Nobody saw that coming.
Oh. Some of this inking. Wow.
Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, it was pretty much, it started out just paper and stuff, the Rocketeer on screen. Oh my God, I'm old.
You're just realizing?
Yeah, look, it's the girl from the Labyrinth.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
What's her real name?
Jennifer Connelly.
That's what it was.
She knows who she's married to, huh?
No, I don't.
Vision. Paul Bettany.
All right.
It's just a shame that you know Paul Bettany's vision. Remembering the middleman. Oh, this is funny. The biggest event in the past 10 years was the emergence of the direct sales market. Roger Fletcher of Diamond Distributors. God bless you, Diamond. In the comics industry, as many others, it's easy to overlook the middleman. Comic readers patronize certain stores, and know which companies publish the titles they like, but they don't give much thought to the distributors, the people who ensure that their favorite books get onto shelves if they want them to. Oh, I'm sorry. That's not on there? Mike says, if you gave Wizard Magazine a lot of advertisements, you get better reviews of your comics, allegedly. I'm not surprised. Does that surprise? That's not surprising, I'm sure. Look, they're going. Davis agrees. Well, you both face F you, Diamond. That's what that's the general consensus here, right? Asked how the comic market has changed during the past decade, Diamond's director of marketing, Roger Fletcher, sounds scummy, said the biggest event in the 10 years was the emergence of the direct market as the largest outlet for comic merchandise because we could scam them. Oh, y'all want this book? Well, now you got to pay 10 more of this other book that you don't want. That probably won't even sell. But whatever, we're mafia tactics.
Business.
But it used to be that perhaps 80% of sales were made on newsstands and maybe 20% in specialty shops. But now the percentages are reversed. And who the fuck did that, Diamond? I wonder.
This is some real shade.
Oh. So there you go. But see, you want to know if you want to get into this medium and you want to know where you should be looking, guys, look to the past on these things. Go to archive.org, the Internet Archive. Look it up. Find the image, the wizard stuff. See, you can't even see. It's almost interchangeable. Find the wizard stuff and actually, educate yourself about what they were saying at this point in time and how it was. They had gotten things so much into a pigeonhole of how comics were supposed to be that that people. That's why we're in the state of how we have the idea of breaking into comics now, instead of just making freaking comics. That's what happened in the 70s, in the late 60s. People were making their own books and putting it out there. Zap Comics, things like that. And we'll get into that. I probably would be very uncomfortable showing you those. But still, Will says, bring back newsstand. At this point in time, I think we need to plow forward to a new medium, to a new place to see and to
most likely digital
to explore.
Right?
Well, digital to an extent, but people still want physical.
Okay,
and
that's true.
And that's going to, and look, that's another thing too that's really coming out is people are starting to see how companies are behaving with the digital stuff.
Like you buy stuff and you don't really own it.
Well, like what was one video game company that recently said people need to get used to not actually owning anything,
and that's ridiculous.
So
just completely lost half of their buyer base with that one statement.
Exactly, and so there's going to be a callback for media. The problem is this. Here's where we can thrive as independents. Okay. Best Buy just took out their physical media.
Oh.
All right. So as independents, if we can provide tangible, good, quality-based physical media, we might actually have an upper hand in this struggle.
You know what? Good point. And it's something you can collect, you can hold.
And what was interesting is, and then you had a convention calendar, which I'm sure if you contributed to Diamond, you could get into that too. And what's the crazy? And so then you could see what was upcoming. For instance, I picked up a book today that I just heard about that's by Sean Murphy, but I didn't know of it anywhere else. You can follow Image Comics or whatever the case is or whoever, but you might not see it. So the good thing about it with picking up a magazine like Wizard was
getting a little up on what's going on.
Absolutely. Like, and when it was coming out. On sale in August. So, but
definitely use something like
Mike says a person's digital library from Funimation is not transferring to Crunchyroll. Exactly.
Isn't that crazy?
And that's causing a lot of problems.
God, that's
all right. So this was number one. This was Wizard number one. It was 57 pages, black and white, kind of, some here, there, newsprint, whatever. But Wizard didn't stay there. They saw themselves moving.
Ooh.
So here we go. This is number 40. So this is a little bit over 2.5 years, about three and a half years of of Wizard Comics.
See my photo?
300-page year-end spectacular. With
Looks pretty cool.
this was done by Mark Sasso, I guess.
Tiny name.
I can't read it. So here we go. Now we're starting. Now you can see the colors are really starting to pop on this, right? Extreme. The end is now. Extreme was now Image. The thing about Image is Image doesn't work in the same way that Marvel and DC did. Okay. Image was a publisher. These guys broke off to form their own comic companies. Extreme was Rob Liefeld's.
Liefeld.
Yeah, Wildcats. Top Cow was Mark Silvestri, things like that. And then they competed. And now this looks like this is a professional publication. So we're starting to really start seeing
Very professional. You got a guy in the
and let's see. After Xavier, Life as a Mutant, after Professor Bites It, a different take, all kinds of cool secrets and stuff with the animated X Crew. So we're getting like this whole X-Men episode, which I guess kind of fits now, considering they're bringing back that X-Men 97 with such horrible animation. And so it's kind of fitting for tonight, right? And this stuff, Valiant House style. Now, Valiant is offshot independent of DC. So look, there's Shameless. Seamus, right there. As always, welcome you. No matter how you look at it, this issue of Wizard 300 year-end kick butt issue is a monster. We took 1993's year-end issue number 29 and dissected it, improving upon the good parts and adding all kinds of new stuff.
Interesting.
William Pace says Wizard was always kissing Image's ass, influenced worth of the Image books. Absolutely, because if you weren't here at the beginning, Will, Seamus here, Gareb Seamus, who was the college student who founded Wizard, was friends with Todd McFarlane. Imagine that. So anyway, as we keep going, Magic Words casting the X flick. Now, okay, is this going to be?
Throw an X everywhere like that.
There were X. What, X, and X? I don't understand.
Oh,
what
no,
do you mean?
Stop. X flick? Oh.
Hey, look, there's somebody from Baton Rouge, Louisiana writing in.
Wow.
I just bought this kind of dorky looking glasses that Barry puts in. Oh, yeah. That's just great. Anyway, evil can run, but it can't hide. The Punisher video game.
Wait, hold on. Can I show them your ball?
Yeah, whatever. There you go.
How fitting.
It just it doesn't have the same thing anymore as it used to. It's just not what it used to be. I'm not whatever. So anyway, going through all this envelope art. So you used to be able to send in artwork to this, and we'll see some of the artwork that was sent in and everything. So you might even see it. Yeah. And these were from like envelopes that were sent in because we didn't have email accessibly back then like that. But we had digital coloring. We had digital
Can you understand why I might be confused?
Nope.
Like a little bit?
Nope.
Whatever.
Unless you think computers are a 2000 thing. Oh my God, you think computers are a 2000 thing? Wow.
When was AOL around?
So sweeping changes at Marvel. Well, I wonder why there's sweeping changes at Marvel. It has to be sweeping changes at Marvel. So each of all the 4 divisions will operate just like small company and have its own editor-in-chief, leaving current editor-in-chief and senior vice president of Marvel, Tom DeFalco, to do what? Reports are that DeFalco may choose to solely freelance for Marvel. Now, here's what's interesting about Tom DeFalco. He was editor-in-chief at the time the Image stuff happened. So they might be mad at him for that, but they really... And the thing about this is people don't understand, and Tom DeFalco talking about being in the 3-hour meeting, that these guys, when they went in there to talk to Marvel about what they were talking about, what they wanted, Marvel was trying to give them what they wanted, but they didn't seem to know what they wanted. We'll come to find out that it was really just a way for them to say Marvel wouldn't give us what we wanted. So, yeah.
Okay.
So, JD, come on. Marvel needs sweeping changes now? Golly, JD. Man, probably, but I think it's been like that for the past 20 years. Anyway. So Marvel acquired, so there's just a lot of stuff just going through here.
It's a pretty cute magazine. I'd probably pick it up.
You'd probably pick it up?
If it wasn't irrelevant.
Ultraverse.
Oh, Ultraverse?
Ultraverse,
sounds
the
insane.
Nightman, the Strangers. Well, this is, remember I was working for Silverline at one point in time? This is where a lot of them came from, with Malibu Comics.
Interesting.
So, yeah. So Malibu got bought out by DC and then shut the fuck down. That's what happened to them. After Xavier. Okay. So this is what happened. Legion, you remember Legion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Legion, David went back
Mm-hmm.
trying to kill Magneto, accidentally killed Xavier.
Oh.
So set up a world, because you remember Legion he just was all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
David was just all over the place. And I know you know it because we watched Legion.
Yeah.
We
I only know him for the show. I saw a cover once. He has weird hair.
Yeah, he looks nothing like he does in the comics.
It's caught very off guard.
Yeah, yes. So, and the bad thing about it was, in that point, Legion completely and utterly disappears. So you can't go back, huh? Well, yeah, I mean, he killed his dad.
Oh, you're right. I guess that's how that works.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting is, so Bishop in this, right? Bishop was from the future anyway. And so he kind of got lost in the whole timeline thing. So he kind of remembered some of the certain things that were wrong, and that's what ended up contributing to it. Stuff. Hey, look, there's Legion. Looks just like the
guy
dude.
from the show.
Oh, absolutely. So I mean, I wonder if they're telling you it's difficult enough to be writing entertainment for an audience that varies from age 8 to 48. You have to try to cover as many bases as you possibly can. Fabian CG. You know, the best thing to do is when you're trying to cover from ages 8 to 48 is write good stuff.
Oh,
I mean,
all I'm saying is, like, no one's going to read something that you say is for kids, but if you say it's family friendly, I think that has a different connotation.
Yeah,
like that means
it means for kids.
No, it means that kids are allowed to read. Look, as long as you don't have any of the inappropriate, nasty stuff, and you still cover deeper topics, I think, like, you're allowed that you can reach a broad audience. Genuinely.
What would you consider deeper topics that would...
Oh, deeper like death. I mean, death you wouldn't have in freaking...
I feel like that's cliche.
Is it? Okay, abuse, stuff like that, just stuff that might seem a little too dark for kids media to market it.
But it was not dark enough for freaking TGI Friday comedies like Full House. Like, golly, man, it's a fucking comedy. Please, I don't care if DJ's addicted to speed pills, and that wasn't one. But I don't care.
There was one where they handled the topic of an eating disorder. So that's pretty hefty.
Who had the eating disorder?
Oh, which DJ?
It was, of course,
it was DJ.
Right.
But I'm just saying, like, kids are smarter than you think. If you don't underestimate your audience and their ability to understand a story.
Hey, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that saves lives. I have no idea. But what I thought was really cool about, and I do collect, and a lot of people will probably shade me for this, but I do collect this. I know JD's going to. But this is the Age of Apocalypse. I do collect these. I did like some of the artwork during this. Bite me. So, and hey, look! The X-Men animated series continues to grow in popularity, but that's not stopping the producers from taking risks. So that's interesting. So you did not, again, this was another book. This was coming out. This is 1993. X-Men was at the top of its peak here. The books were selling. Age of Apocalypse was happening. X-Men animated series was happening. It wasn't dumbed down. It wasn't. It was taken straight forward. It didn't talk down to kids. It didn't talk down to you. Didn't feel bad. And so you were, I'm afraid now that there's just not that kind of writing anymore that kind of understands that overall arching, But I mean, who knows? Who knows? Maybe. Yeah, so I mean, you're thumbing through this, of course, dear editor. And on and on and on.
This book takes a long time to load.
I'm telling you. Like,
was it like this back in the day?
Yeah, exactly. We had computers. All right, don't be. But
and they worked?
This is in print. As well as they work now. So I wanted to get to it because I think what they used to also have is a casting call thing, right?
Casting call. Oh, like fan casting?
Yeah, kind of.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Something very prevalent today still.
The top 10 toys of 1994. This was not a magazine for dorks. Tell her about Dala. Yeah, right. You think this is slow? You've heard that, right?
It's where you call somebody to boot your computer up?
No, well, kind of.
Oh.
It's like
You gotta call the computer man.
Challenge the energy of this stream. Help me to finish tomorrow's comic strip. Thank you. All right, awesome. But okay, so yeah, see, toys were a thing back then.
Really?
Oh, look, there's a Spawn toy. Imagine that.
I thought they were called action figures. Or is that just what grown men call them to not sound lame?
It's kind of like graphic novels.
Same with his dolls.
Thank you, Mike, for the $2, man. So yeah, look, Star Wars was a thing. Did you know that Star Wars was a thing back in 1994? These are the top toys in '94. This is what's coming out, right? Look, this Jack Skeleton. This is when he was first coming out.
Time is very warm.
Oh my gosh!
What is this?
This is homemade toys. I forgot all about this. This was like a showcase of homemade action figures.
Okay.
After cleaning out your files and getting ready for all the stuff that we're going to get in 95, we dug up some really awesome homemade heroes that for some reason or other never saw the light of day. So in an effort to take up, apparently this is 94, I was wrong, to take up as many pages as possible with us here at Wizard. Wow, talk about lazy work. Wizard's doing little work as possible. No surprise. As we proudly present a whole mess of neo little figure guys. Enjoy. When did I win? So you had Mike. So there's a Rogue. Rogue is taken from a popular dark and a gritty version of the X-Men books. Was made from a Barbie doll and comes our way from the talented hands of Casey something.
Nice.
And this is oh golly. This is Kitty Pryde's dragon that I cannot remember his name because I can't remember shit anymore. And wow, look, just in case you thought that James Gunn invented Vigilante for his Peacemaker TV show, there he is right there, made by somebody out of it was made from a Toy Biz Spider Punisher body and a Spider-Man head and some G.I. Joe parts.
Oh, okay.
So Vigilante right there, let you know he's there. So, I mean, you got really creative with a lot of this. Here's a Shredder. And there's a Black Cat. Oh, look, there's Man-Thing, Blue Beetle.
These are cute.
Yeah. Space Ghost. That's obvious. Space Ghost is obviously taken from a Batman animated series.
Oh, yeah, with the torso.
You can see they just shaved off the ears. They shaved his ears off.
As you couldn't hear.
But it's really good. It's really good. I wonder about how many of these people still have this stuff. Look at these things. Swamp Thing. I think that's Swamp Thing.
Look at all these adult toys.
The awesome Sludge figure from a Kenner Swamp Thing. Okay, it was a Sludge figure made from a Swamp Thing. Okay, you could have done better. And look, it's Baron Zemo. Tell her about Toth. I don't have to tell her about Toth. You can, if you want to know about Alex Toth, all you have to do is go back and find Comics by Night by Randy Zimmerman right here on the IndieComicsNetwork.com. And you can find all you can about Alex Toth, who did things like Space Ghost and design that Barbarian thing. I don't know, JD, you're old. I can't remember everything. But Toth was good. I love Alex Toth. I heard he was a cranky old man. But anyway, so look, somebody even made a Jack Kirby action figure. That's not a Jack Kirby action figure. But maybe so. Nightcrawler. Second prize winner was Nightcrawler. Grand prize is this Green Lantern.
Is it?
Yes, who was made from a bunch of other stuff.
Bunch of
other stuff. I can't read all this.
Bunch of various things.
That's the good thing about this. You can actually, let's see. Baron Zemo. You know Baron Zemo, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
well,
he's the one.
Like
he's the one that had that really horrible plan for Civil War that everybody thinks was great.
Call him out.
That's right.
He
Anyway,
did that one dance that went viral.
Yeah,
it's probably what you know him best for.
No, I know him for the meme that he's out of line, but he's right. You know that one. Anyway, so you take the cake. Nate walks off with them. Let's see. His legs belong to a Toy Biz Omega Red figure. The chest and arms are from a Tycho Cadillacs and Dinosaurs Jack Tarrant figure, and the head is from a Kenner Shadow figure. Yeah.
These are some very old-looking designs.
I feel like maybe you made something bad, something that was really great. But anyway.
No offense, but that screen
Congratulations.
smells like dust.
Huh?
It looks like it smells like dust.
What?
That entire page.
I think it's that's because of the coloring that they use behind it.
Oh, also just the old figurines. Because you're old.
Oh, that you were trying to make a joke?
No.
Oh, okay. Now you've scared off everybody.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We're talking about Wizard Comics. Wizard Magazine.
Everyone here is old. That's what you're saying, right? So they all smell like dust.
This is a shame that I'm going to have to slap you like a dog on the.
Oh.
Ooh, oops. So so everybody was getting an animated series. Look, Wildcats was getting an animated series. It didn't work. That didn't work out well.
I've never heard of it.
That was Jim Lee's. That's Jim Lee's contribution to Image. Palmer's picks of 94. Who the hell is Palmer, and why should I care? Tom Palmer Jr. Okay. So you had some stuff that was a little rare.
Mm-hmm.
Indie stuff to do. The kind of
a lot of words.
Yeah. That's a lot of words. I don't buy comics for the words. Come on, people. Oh. Who created Ultron? Oh, so you had little Ultron. Who created Ultron 7? Yeah, look at that. Comic book intelligent quoted. I remember this. So what you would do is you would test how well your comic book knowledge was.
Okay. Please don't do this to me.
Oh my gosh. Which of the following Image books shipped the latest? Answer, all of them. It's Hepcat. Show some respect. Oh, come on. Have you met my daughter? It's respect? Forget about it.
Hell no.
Yeah. Which of the following characters is not the direct result of exposure to gamma radiation? The leader? Sasquatch? I don't know this guy. Sorry. Or She-Hulk. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was She-Hulk.
They're all green.
I don't see what. People in there are probably losing their shit. You don't know?
The only thing I know about She-Hulk is that she's a lawyer, and no one liked her show.
Yes, She-Hulk.
Which of these was Sue Richards' first costume? And
oh, come on.
so you got jokes, right?
Aww.
So you got jokes. You know who Sue Richards is?
No.
The Invisible Woman.
Oh.
Ah.
Wah, wah.
Sue Reed's not. Well, Sue. No, wait a minute. Yeah. Sue Richards. Reed Richards' sister. Sue Storm. Damn it. Why would the hell would you call her Sue Richards?
Because they're nerds. Only nerds would know. This is nerd
but they didn't
language.
get married till later on. She started off. Okay, whatever. Who killed Al Simmons? Oh wow, they put Peter David in there. Jeez. See, I think that was snark. See, Tom McFarlane made a whole thing about how Image wasn't getting the attention that all the other comics and stuff were getting. And anyways, Peter David was like, "You're full of shit." Peter David was a writer. Now, they had worked together on The Incredible Hulk, Peter David and Tom McFarlane. And what ended up happening is they had a debate at a con. And if I'm not mistaken, I think JD was there.
Oh.
It's out there on the internet.
On the YouTube.
On the internet. Let's see. Dan says the crew that published Wizard owned a comic book store of the same name in Nyack, New York. They would often inflate the prices of books that had an abundance of, as well as a lot of other shady practices. Interesting. Wait a few years, and Who Killed Al Simmons will be retconned. Insert again. And JD says, I was the advantages of being old. So he gets to see Tom McFarlane comes out like he's going to battle with Peter David over the fact that he doesn't think that Image is getting the publicity the same way as Marvel and DC are getting, right? And Peter David's calling bullshit on this because there's Wizard Magazine. Anyway, which is, again, like I said, a big magazine versus what had been out before. And so Todd McFarlane comes out all dressed up like fucking Rocky. Like he's going to go to bat. He's going to go box Peter David or whatever. And in my opinion, thank you. I was about to say it. In my opinion, Peter David took him to the fucking task. The dude didn't know who he was messing with. Peter chopped him up. He did. See this. He did. I will have to find it. I'll show it. It's on YouTube. But yeah, Peter chopped him up. It's this bullshit, man. This is You'd be surprised how often that McFarlane went up against somebody and got his ass handed to him. Really?
I don't think I'd be that surprised.
Yeah.
He drew comics, really?
But it just goes to show you that history, people's opinions of history changes by what they like and who they worship.
Oh, okay.
Wizard of Cards. Now, that was one thing that was really big, too, at the early 90s, was all these specialty cards. You used to have trading cards. And what happened in the last 80s? And, you know, you always had baseball cards, right? So somebody had the idea, well, let's make Marvel cards. And they did. I used to have a whole bunch of them. I'm not going to lie.
Cards?
Oh, yeah. They would have the stats on them, like how powerful this character is and what their origin was and things like that. They had they had a few series. I want to say like maybe 4, and then it didn't sell anymore because you're just doing the same damn ones over and over again with different new art. But so it's showing you the 95's finest, 94's best, top 10 card that were selling. You had the Wildstorm. Made a series of big hits. The autographed cards found once in every other box. Star Wars Galaxy, Star Trek Generation. So basically, these were just this was like stills from the show, right? Okay. The Simpsons series, one absolutely. Sandman, yes, that Sandman. Ultra X-Men, Mighty Morphin. Apparently, so these things were even getting their own. Then Magic the Gathering was number 3. I really have probably The Lion King. I actually had some of those, and then the history of Marvel Universe, which is common. George Perez made a drawing of Peter as the Hulk, putting Spawn McFarlane through a wall, if I remember.
Oh wow!
Oh wow! Yes, the idea behind that. Oh, why can't we have this community or this sense of togetherness because we're all about comics is an illusion.
Oh yeah. It
really is. It's not been that way. It hasn't been that way since the beginning. It's not that way now. So here's the deal. We can sit there and worry about togetherness in comics, or we can sit there, or we can find people who were genuine and cling to those.
Yeah, true.
You know, who really care about this medium and enjoy it. That's how you.
Otherwise, you're gonna get taken advantage of, right?
Oh,
the whole family.
Oh, it happens. Yeah. See, that's why. Anytime somebody comes at me about that kind of thing, we're family, but you don't know my name, how many kids I got. You don't know where, that kind of thing. It's like,
you don't even know me as a person, though.
Although I have family members, I don't know their kids' names either. So
we're not family.
Yeah, I guess to show you. Comic book supplies, everything you need to be a pro collector. And I think comic books at that point in time, too, was also, correct me if I'm wrong, were being reduced to just being collector items. Then they were, and it was a spectator market, They say, Davey says, that's not true. I love everyone. Absolutely. I believe it. I see the people you have in your show. Me, for instance. And so I believe it. No, seriously. JD show Indie Comics on a Sunday, which, eventually I'll be back on again. I keep getting bumped around, but, that's not nobody's fault, right? When you're popular, JD. Anyway. But check it out. Of course, there's back interviews right here on IndieComicsNetwork.com.
You'll get to see it.
And not to mention, he's also got Oswald Chronicles coming back to Kickstarter. Everyone check that out. And pretty soon, I think Tall Tales is hitting it this week. Oh, yeah. Plus, we have Magi's Grace. So, March 3rd, sir. Yes, I'm supposed to be on there on March 3rd. Hey, look. It's Bone.
Oh, that's that Netflix show that got canceled.
Ow!
Yeah, I don't know why that happens.
Netflix show that got canceled. No, it's a classic comic. That's what it is.
It was a comic book? But it's not a superhero, is it?
Wow.
How could it be a comic?
Here's the thing. Guess what? That's not the only. What's crazy about this is this is the Bone that you always see, but there's like 3 of them. So top 10 heroes, villains of. Oh no, Spawn's number 1.
Oh,
What? Oh my god!
What a coinky dink!
What? Spawn, Spider-Man, Wolverine, then Batman behind them.
What a coinky dink!
Except Bone. I don't like Bone. To each their own. Then Gambit. Gambit was big at that time. That's why we don't want Channing Tatum playing Gambit. Pitt, which is Dale Keown. Lady Death.
Of course.
You know who Lady Death is.
I'm aware.
You know, that guy that's out there.
The grape looking guy? What's the guy's name?
Oh, the one that looked like Eddie from Stranger Things when he was younger. Oh my gosh.
Brian Polita.
Brian Polita. See, that's why you're the producer. That right there. It's not that I don't think these people are important. It's just that I don't remember their names. She, which was Billy Tucci. See, these people are still around. Vampirella, which was helped fashion by females, by the way.
What does that mean? No, seriously, what does that mean?
She was anyway. And number 10 was Superman. Wow.
At 10?
Number 10. Okay, so who was the we haven't gotten to was Superman. I'm trying to is Vampirella considered the villain here? This list doesn't track the number of copies which a specific character sells each month. Obviously not, because Spawn wouldn't have been number 1. It doesn't pay any attention to any kind of sales meter. The list is a roster of 10 comic book characters with the strongest fan following. Nothing more, nothing less. Okay, but as determined by a wizard. Morning, Mike Jimmy. Mike Jimmy says 5 a.m. on a Sunday. Must have a kid. LML. I know that feeling. You'll never get sleep again. No. That's hence why I'm still out. I'm out here at 10 o'clock at night where I'm at. So, and then of course you got your comics watch, picks of the Wizard's hat. Imagine that. Angela number 1, which happens to be right off of right from Greg Capullo, and writer was Neil Gaiman. Oh my gosh. So is this before the debacle? Like, okay, was this before? Because what happened with Neil Gaiman and Todd McFarlane? Like, Gaiman sued Todd McFarlane.
Really?
For rights of Angela. In fact, I think Angela now is in like Valiant or not Vertigo comics and stuff. Because Gaiman. He wrote that horrible Coraline.
Okay, shut up.
Oh man. The comic menu is in the chat. Oh, nice. What are we talking about? We're talking about Wizard and what it was. So,
and what it's not now.
It don't get Mike's talking about having a kid. It don't get better, apparently. No. So Angela, Tom McFarlane promised, and yes, McFarlane's coming up a lot in this simply because it was the center of this magazine, really, to be completely honest. No telling how he convinced Seamus to create the comic or whatever, the book or whatever. Mike says, Gaiman rocks, wrote some of my favorite stories.
Thank you.
Comic menu would name more than one.
Name another.
That's good. Gotcha. Thus is the new one. Okay. Thus, I'm not familiar with that. But anyway, so he creates Angela with the idea that McFarlane acted as if he owned a character called Miracle Man. Now he was going to, let Gaiman use the rights for it. So what ended up happening was, come to find out, McFarlane didn't have those rights or whatever the case is. So they ended up having a lawsuit over this character. Angela is actually Neil Gaiman's character, and so on. So I always like this. This was Sunfire. This version of Sunfire, which, is that person there.
Is it?
Yeah. This is
all I know it as.
Of course. Writer Scott Blattdell, Fabian, I can't pronounce that. Roger Cruz is doing art now, and he's still doing some fantastic stuff. In fact, he just finished doing a book with of Robin with one of my favorite writers, Josh Williamson. That book ended, I think, last year. But it's my favorite Robin. I'm sorry. I know people get upset by it, but I like Damian Wayne.
Hot take.
Oh, well.
I don't know. I see a lot of people talk about how much they like Damian Wayne.
Yeah, but everybody hates people who like Damian Wayne. From Desk, a small publisher says, "Hi, all. Fresh from show. Y'all talking about Wizard Magazine, the magazine that made Image Comics?" No, that didn't happen. That didn't happen. You see what I'm talking about? This comes in, and it's like, this comes in, and everybody knows right immediately. What do they go to? They go to freaking Image. They go to Image. Everything they wanted. So more picks. Aquaman 6, Batman books. But look, there's no Image books here. And there's Bone. Icon. Okay, there's an Image book. It's Groot. And not that kind of Groot. This is a Groot that you don't know about.
Got a lot of this stuff, Dad. I'm gonna be honest.
Hey, look, it's Legion again. Boy, and so we had a contest. I have another contest. That looks like the second contest we've had in this magazine, right? Top 10 comics. Gen 13, number 1. Also by also created by Jim Lee, but it was also what helped to give rise to J. Scott Campbell.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
The one
yeah.
that did that cover that upset everybody ever.
For what? Like, oh my gosh! Like, oh yeah, it was
It's too exaggerated.
of a old girl from Ironheart, right?
Oh wait, that one?
Oh no, you're talking about that
Mary
one.
Jane
Oh,
cover,
you're
yeah.
talking about the Mary Jane cover where
Yeah,
somebody tried
everyone
to
was
put the
upset.
anatomy on that one.
Like,
Yeah.
it's stupid, but it was like I wouldn't gotten mad. I don't think it's just like
Well, sometimes when people are successful, there's other people that want to tear them down. And then there's sometimes people are successful when they shouldn't be. So what do?
you
You
fit
just
into
got-
both those boxes.
You know, I let God sort them out. So Gen 13, number 1 is number 1. She is number 1. She and Lady Death are still around, mind you. So you got to hand it to that. Gen 13, not so much. I think DC owns this now because they own all the Wildstorm, which is Jim Lee's thing. You know, Jim Lee is now the president of DC. So imagine that. Gen 13 is number 2. And I did collect Gen 13. It was purely for the story.
Huh.
Yeah.
What?
Huh? Anyway, Generation X, which started my crush on Jubilee, but still,
Oh.
Generation X has, okay, you know, we talked about Chris Pachalo,
We have.
the guy you want to punch in the face.
Oh yes, of course.
You,
Or like Chris Punchalo.
why you want to punch Pachalo? He never did anything to you.
But that he's too good.
He's too good.
This shouldn't be
Too good.
allowed. This
Generation
shouldn't be
X. JD Calderon said, Gen 13 can still be found in 50-cent boxes. They even had a pilot cartoon for it, too. That's on,
I have not
that's on
heard of
YouTube.
this.
You never heard of Gen 13?
No.
It was X-Men.
Oh, okay.
Really?
I've heard of that one.
But everybody bought Gen 13 for the story.
What is this book? I'm scared to look it up.
Gen 13? I haven't. I have the number. I think I have issue number 1. Actually, somewhere. I'll have to find it. I'll let you look at it.
To know your devious intentions.
What? Okay. So here's the best part, right? So they had Wizards top 10, and I would like to take that, take her to a comic shop. I did yesterday.
I have been in my fair share of comic shops.
It's like, you think I ended up with this?
I walk around and look at all the pretty toys.
Wow.
I do.
Ouch. So here we go. Wizards top 10 hottest artists. Okay, without looking at this, who's number 1?
Wizards top 10 artists?
Top 10 artists, yeah.
Probably Todd McFarlane.
What? It's Todd McFarlane, followed by Stephen Platt.
What?
Frank
Frank
Miller. This is the top 10 hottest artists. Okay. Frank Miller. Okay, nobody would agree with that one as far as what Frank Miller puts out now. Greg Capullo, he's still around. Joe Quesada just quit to go pursue animated stuff, supposedly, or whatever. Andy Kubert. Will Porticio. I can never say his name right. Good guy. He was one of the Image 9 or whatever. Adam Hughes. Oh, I haven't heard that name in a while. Adam Kubert. No relation to Andy Kubert. Just relation to Andy Kubert.
What?
And Jeff Smith. So, and then your top 10 hottest writers was Frank Miller, Peter David, Neil Gaiman, surprise, John Byrne, Jeff Smith, Chris Claremont, Claremont.
Phew.
Ron Mars, Fabian, that name that I cannot pronounce at the end, Scott Lobdell, and John Ostrander. Scott Lobdell, in fact, I just think I got a book that he wrote too. I don't remember. Saying that they helped make Todd McFarlane, Rob Liefeld, Terry Moore, Jim Lee, and others known to the masses as opposed to comic heads like us. Gen 13 was initially solicited as Gen X, but Marvel hit them with a C&D. You know what a C&D is, right?
No.
Cease and desist.
Oh.
You need to stop. I had a promo poster with the original title on it back before the first issue was released. If only Gen 13 went somewhere. I wonder how much that would be worth, though. Seriously. Gen X. I think I kind of remember that.
That hits harder than Gen 13.
It does. But here's the problem. You had Generation X. So.
Ow.
Oh. Come on now. Where's my casting call, man? We're almost at the end of this. I could have sworn that it was in this one.
I don't think we've seen any of the fan art sections yet.
This is true. We're towards the end of this.
How big is this ding darn book?
213 pages. Now we started out with like 58, right? Oh look, here's a section on Dark Horse.
Oh, okay.
Did we go through all of these? Or was I just running my mouth? Probably running my mouth.
You do it best.
Thank you. Wait, what?
What?
Anyway. Let's see here. Let me see if I can go back to there's that cover again. Gotta
put on some elevator music.
Number 42. So let's go to page 42. So this is them casting X-Men.
Okay.
All right?
All right, we already got it.
Okay, so
Sir Patrick Stewart.
Patrick Stewart. Now, imagine that.
All the way back then.
Yep. Bishop, this, of course, another guy from Star Trek. He was Worf on Star Trek.
Okay.
Dolph Lundgren. You don't know who that is.
No.
Huh? Yeah, he played the Punisher, but she wouldn't remember that.
I wouldn't. Which movie?
Oh, the Punisher back in 1989. Michael Ben, whatever. From he was on Terminator. You haven't watched that yet.
Yeah.
Jean-Claude Van Damme as Gambit. I actually kind of see that one.
You was talking about how I didn't like what the movies did with Gambit.
No, there was only one movie that had Gambit in it.
That's true, yeah.
So did you talk about the price guide yet? Not yet. No, we haven't got. When it comes up, Psylocke, Tia Carrere. Oh my gosh, you will know half of these people are.
Are they even still alive?
Really?
Sorry.
Really. What's bad about it is down here is Clint Eastwood is Cable, and yes, he's still alive at 90-something years old.
And directing movies. Right.
Nicole Kidman, who used to be Tom Cruise's wife until she wised up. Danzig, who was they would have him picked for Wolverine. It's better than the one when they did Danny DeVito.
How tall is he?
5 feet.
Yeah, he's not a tall guy, but he's stocky. So I think that worked out. Now see, Rudiger Howell as Magneto. That would have worked, actually. Rudiger Howell.
Okay.
Howell. Clancy Brown as Sabretooth. Who's Clancy Brown?
Who is Clancy Brown?
You know Clancy Brown, actually.
I can't see
that. In fact, outside of knowing, Patrick Stewart as Professor X.
Yes.
That's how you know him.
Yeah.
All right. We know him as Jean-Luc Picard. You know him as Professor X.
God, you're such a dork. Such a dork.
All right. This is David Bowie's wife, the one who plays Storm.
Oh.
That would work. Clancy Brown is Mr. Krabs.
Oh, okay.
So you see, who do they get? Rebecca De Mornay. Huh, that's interesting. So, from the desk of a small publisher says LMAO. Good point, see, about Nicole Kidman. So, it's in the cards. Look, see, this is some of the artwork from the cards. So this must have been flipping through here. Yeah, see some of this artwork. It was really good artwork.
One behind shots for whatever reason.
What the hell? And that's Vampirella. That's why I was saying what I said about Vampirella.
I like Vampirella. Now.
See?
She's very risque.
Well, this is interesting. The ultimate comic book stress test. And I think they're still having this argument today. Which are better, old comics or modern ones? The debate is finally put to rest. Joke's on you.
Wow.
Yeah. Joe from Death of Small Touch Brothers says, nice work on the 90s Marvel Masterwork card. Yes, absolutely.
I wonder who has these now?
Huh?
Who has those? Who do you think collected them? What do you think?
I don't know. I think
somewhere?
they're still collectible. Yeah, see, this was skipping ahead like 2 or 3 pages. So let's look. Okay. Now I'm curious, and we're getting towards the end of the show here. So I'll tell you what. Let's go look at what would have been, I think it was their last issue, and see how much they changed. And you can already see. Let me see if I can find it. What was, and yes, folks, I am Googling. If you can tell me what was the last Wizard magazine? 235. Was that the one with 255, 30, some of the older ones we might not be able to 140. I don't know what happened.
Where are we?
We're still alive. I haven't.
Where are we?
It's too much 90s overload. Here we go. 235. And it would be, guys. Wizard magazine with Green Lantern Ryan.
Oh
Reynolds.
my god.
So this,
in case you forgot,
if this is true, this was the last Wizard magazine.
Day Comics died.
This is a shame. So let's rifle through this. Oh, hey, look, it's Scott
Ramona
Pilgrim.
Flowers.
Yep, Ramona Flowers.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Yeah, they were banking on this being a lot, man.
Wow.
They really were. Sinestro. Mark Strong. Mark Strong of Sinestro. Mark Strong's the one from Kick-Ass. And was the bad guy, the boss leader.
Oh, okay.
Have you watched Kingsman yet?
No.
Oh, I gotta find that. Oh, look. And look, right? This is where we're starting up the Marvel universe.
The beginning of an era.
Guillermo del Toro. If Marvel's going in a completely different direction for Iron Man 3, let's have a master of both horror and heart. Hellboy, jump into the director's chair.
Ooh.
No, that's all right. No, he does some very visually interesting stuff, but sometimes it falls flat. I'm sorry. I pictured that. Get posterized. But you notice what you're starting to see here is it's like, oh, okay, here's some comic stuff.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of comic adjacent.
Right,
things,
yeah.
Like movies and more adaptations.
So here's a comic showdown we want to see. Star Trek in a comic showdown. Doctor Who meets classic Star Trek in a comic showdown.
We really want to see that? You want to see that?
No, I'm good. I'm really good. Don't get me wrong, I like both of them separately. I'm not too sure.
Together?
Yeah.
It's kind of strange. Kind of a weird request.
Look, Walking Dead number 82. No Way Out.
What year was this?
The year that Green Lantern came out. I don't know, 2010?
I think I'm going to remember that exact date like it's 9/11. To some people it was.
This is true.
Green Lantern fans, if there are any of you.
So it was still hitting some comics here and there. But it seemed like it was getting to a lot of stuff that just was dealing with movies and things like that. Nobel Prize. I like John Noble, actually. This is Fringe, which is really good in the first 2 seasons. It kind of fell off a little bit. It kind of tried to bring itself back.
So it's a show.
Yes, it's a show.
Book about comics.
Agents of Atlas. We want to see Marvel. Oh, look. Cookie Crusaders kicking ass on the boob tube. Boob tube. The boob tube.
What is a boob tube?
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
No,
That's a television. That's what they used to call the boob tube. Yes.
Can we bring that back? Actually.
Yeah, do it.
Unironically, I want to go around talking.
Look, now here's what's sad about this, right? So instead of doing the pictures with the characters next to it, we're just going to go through this and just say who we think should be it. Christina Hendricks as Venus, Kim Lewing as Jimmy Woo, Nicholas Briggs as we got lazy, didn't we? Ryan Henson as the Iranian,
Forget the visual.
Bruce Campbell as Gorilla Man, sure, and Zoe Bell as Namora. See, look, there you go. They're there. Yeah, I still think it's lazy. Joe says, thanks for agency and people like us. Camelot, Spider-Man and his amazing friends, the oral history. I guess at this point in time, Todd McFarlane was doing figures, so they didn't have much to draw from anymore.
Digital Divas.
Yep. Digital Divas. In the spirit of Valentine's Day, we power up the 5 all-time biggest heartbreakers in video games. Okay. Storms of Bruin. Oh, cool. This is a Rick Remender, which is who wrote that book that I just got. They keep showing off. I just wanted to let myself cut loose and write as much crazy shit as I could and found metal to be the appropriate soundtrack. Sounds about right. What is this about? Bullet Storm. Oh, it's a video game he was writing. Oh, okay. And then some more video games. And then this.
Very classy.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Wait.
Come on, man.
What is this?
What is
Rules
this?
every fan, man, and woman should know about dating.
And women.
It's a lifestyle extra. No wonder the fuck y'all call us out. What the hell is this?
What is this, dude?
It's, like Mike says, wow, Wizards was desperate for content.
Seems
at this
like
point.
it. They were advertising Green Lantern.
Probably because some of the dirty things they were doing was getting out. Or desperate for sales. You're right about that, Mike. To me, this is gold. Nostalgia is priceless. Hollywood Treasure host John Macuto may be the biggest fanboy on Earth. Okay, here we go. We're talking about the figures, collectibles. Which one?
Batman one.
Nope.
Maybe some kind of variant.
No. I have the Mike Mignola one.
All right, okay.
It's right back there.
I see it now.
Yeah. So, I don't know. This is a Cliff Chang is awesome at his job. This is a Cliff Chang. What, Batman with guns? No. Laughing my ass off, rolling on the floor, laughing my ass off. Talk about stereotyping readers and consumers of geek culture.
Right.
Imagine that, right?
Dude.
So, yeah. A Blade Runner umbrella? Well, okay. Wait, were those earbuds? Earbuds like bullets.
I'd wear those. But I don't know why it's being advertised.
That mag was trash. Go get Amazing Heroes. You know what? I tell you what. I will look for it and see if I can't find it on here, and we'll look through it, and it will be my first time looking through it. So we can kind of it will be a reaction video. Hey, we're so new, YouTube. Hey. So yeah, so this doesn't even look like the same book anymore.
It really doesn't.
Oh, look, Holy Grails. Oh, imagine that. Action Comics #1, Detective Comics 27. I felt like they're just talking to Fantastic Four #1. I feel like now you're just talking to a group that doesn't know what comics is. Yeah, I said no, comics is. I know that ain't proper English.
Who needs it? This is YouTube.
Watch, Shop Talk. Retailers dish on the latest sales trends. After his Batman and Robin run, Grant Morrison decided to branch out, and the Cape Crusaders branching out with him, and Batman Inc. Okay. Anyway. Oh, look, and here we go. So they still kept the price guide.
Oh.
All right. So they were. This was actually featured in. And JD says it'll take you into the 80s. 80s. What's that? At least that's what you would say. So the price guide would help, help fuel the speculator
supposed to hit you,
market. on how much is this worth? How much, so certain comics, like say Action Comics #1, I don't think at that point in time, well, at this point in time, maybe, but at that point in time when this was getting started, that it was necessarily $1 million or whatever, but it was high. So that was really, I'm not positive. There's a lot of things, there's a lot of speculation about what started the speculators market. You know what I mean by the speculators market? Okay, the speculators market is
for those who don't know,
buying comics for the sole advantage of being collectible and being worth a lot of money later on.
Okay.
Not even about the medium. It's just like, oh, this, and that's why Image, there's another reason why Image prospered outside of Wizard, was because you had these big names and they were putting out Spawn #1, Max #1. Now these books you can get anywhere. And not a lot, but people were buying #1s up. So Image was releasing a lot of #1s.
Oh yeah.
You see the train thought. How do you feel your the spectator market's picking up? How do you feel that new publishing comic company? You get you a whole bunch of #1s. They got so many #1s and everything. They were losing creators because they were getting money from the #1s and taking off, and they couldn't find them to do #2.
Really
because guess what? You can, because they did understand this. You can have as many #1s as you want to, but if there ain't any more after that to catch a fan base, the #1s weren't going to be worth shit anyway. People were going to realize that and stop buying #1s. They haven't. They're still out there, but still. Thank you, Walking Dead.
They really did not think that one through.
Well, it's not that they didn't think it through. It wasn't their fault. It wasn't the Image publisher's fault. It was people were getting money that they, like, it was explained that they were getting a financial boost as a thank you. I needed that. Yeah, right. I feel violated. They were getting that financial boost that they hadn't gotten at that point in time. So these comic creators were getting in one paycheck over an annual salary for one book. So they were going wild with it, sometimes, poverty fuels imagination. So Dan Costa says the speculator boom came about when the baseball card market took a huge hit and the card people branched out into comics to replace their income from the cards. Oh, interesting. Huh. So 13 covers of Gen 13 #1 is an example. Oh my gosh, I remember that. There was one that they even did like one, not spoofing, but homaging a Rolling Stones cover with Janet Jackson, and her boobs were out. This time she was showing everything but the nipples. Later on, it was like the Super Bowl where Janet Jackson actually showed her nipples was kind of a sequel to the Rolling Stones cover.
Oh.
Yeah, so it said, J.D. Calderon says #2s are important. And Joe from the desk of a small press publisher says exactly J.D. Calderon. So, oh look, oh my gosh! So this was
Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. So so now they're basically getting, this was People Magazine, and look,
yeah.
So, and I guess this is the last page. It won't let me go any further.
That's all you get.
That's it.
That's all.
That's it. So they just end right there. So anyway, but I think we can go ahead and call that a night. So we looked at the first issue, we looked at the last issue, we looked at an issue in between to kind of get the feel of what Wizard Magazine was. So now, Jaden, what is your opinion of Wizard Magazine?
The deterioration was there. You could see it when it became like really mainstream, mostly adaptations of comics rather than the comics themselves. But it was a nice little trip. I like the idea of a comic book.
Okay, so let me ask you this question, and this is also to you guys out there too. Please, feel free to answer. Would indie comics benefit from something like this now?
Momager says no. I think do people care? Is my first question. Indie comic creators care.
Yeah. No,
like the people inside care. If we care enough, would that make other people care? Maybe.
JD says no.
Aww.
Because here's the deal that I have with this, as far as having a magazine for any comics. Valiant Comics exploded due to their coverage in Wizard, absolutely. But Valiant was also on the tail end of all the other ones. So if you had an indie comic publisher, indie comic magazine that's only doing indies and doesn't cover anything else, Marvel or DC or whatever, I don't think it's going to bring anybody to the table per se.
Probably not.
Mike says no. And here's the deal: is if we had this, so now people are spending their money on this magazine as opposed to actually going out and buying these comics. Now, it's a possibility that there would be people who bought it, but
I guess that's true, yeah.
But what did I say at the beginning of this? One thing about Wizard that I could do is I could buy Wizard magazine and not see the comics.
Oh yeah, true.
So
get your interviews and
Joe
stuff.
said I would say no because there will be bias on who was covered and not, putting focus on the industry itself. Absolutely.
And we're seeing that happen with all these wannabe wizards.
Yeah, absolutely. We are seeing that happen, but we saw that happen with Wizard.
Yeah, true. Clear bias.
I mean, for that matter, Seamus was friends with McFarlane,
and he got a lot of attention.
And a lot of attention. If you even look on the on what I have here, you have the Spider-Man McFarlane on the card. You have the Venom, I think, was also done by McFarlane on that Wizard cover. You have the Max was this image. You had Wildcats was this image, which was frequent. So that's how Image really kind of got its foothold or its popularity. It was almost, if you could really say, it was almost Image propaganda.
Ooh,
so
propaganda.
So the question, I think, in all honesty, don't worry about these type of things. Create your books. Create your comics.
Yeah.
Let it be you. You know.
Write it yourself. Do your own little interviews with yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, name it whatever you want to name it. You know, call it, you know. So
That's probably already taken by an indie comic book or a terrible tequila.
Whatever.
Anyway, Jade, where can we find you?
You can find me on Facebook under Jaden Lanning. Again, I'm doing stuff with Daphne Lage for Egoraven. Right now I'm doing a lot of covers. Doing stuff with Rob Moltari and his Nightwolf and what was the other one? Snowpaw. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Excellent. Dan Costa says Wizard drove sales of the magazine by including exclusive trading cards. That's true. Half issues and other gimmicks. Yep. This is definitely true. So. Yeah. So I mean, I don't think the spectator market is as big for indie comics now, especially with the grading system the way it is now. So I don't see it being. I think with the internet the way it is, I don't think we have shows like Indie Comics on a Sunday or Comic Book Spectrum.
Is there a need for a magazine at this point?
At this point in time, it's more interesting to see people talk live about this.
Need Comics Illustrated. Comics are illustrated.
Wow. So anyway,
crawls in bed and goes to sleep.
So with that, I'm C. Michael Lanning. You can check out my work. I'm Calico Charlotte, aerocomics.com. Of course, always at landingart.com. That's LENNING art.com. And join us next week for another art style kamikaze. Say bye, Jaden.
Bye, Jaden.
You have been watching Art Style Kamikaze. If you have experienced headaches, bleeding, or a pleasurable euphoria, please consult a physician. Unless you like that kind of thing.